Hi friends, it's Miss Anne from here at District Library. I am so happy that you're here joining me for story time today. Let's get started. We're going to start how we almost always start preschool story times with Miss Anne, by singing our alphabet, right? Lately we've been singing our alphabet to the tune of head and shoulders, knees and toes. It's kind of fun to switch up our tunes to our alphabet. And we also like to super challenge ourselves by singing it backwards. And that really just helps us make sure that we're recognizing what each of these letters' names is and what their shapes are and the sounds that go along with them, just to make sure that we really understand each of those things. So we're going to sing to the tune of head and shoulders, knees and toes, starting with A. And when we get to the end, we're going to sing Z, and then we'll sing the alphabet with me, sing with me. You ready to try it? Here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Sing the alphabet with me, sing with me. Great job. So now if we're going to sing it backwards, what letter will we start with this time? We're going to start with Z this time. And we're going to end with A. Now, we said when we finished with Z, we said sing the alphabet with me. That rhymes, right? We're going to do a lot of rhyming today, friends. Z and me rhyme, but does sing the alphabet with me, does me rhyme with A? No, it doesn't, does it? So instead of singing sing the alphabet with me, we're going to sing the alphabet this way, sing this way, because way and A do rhyme. Okay, let's get started with our alphabet backwards to the tune of head and shoulders, knees and toes. Z, Y, X, W, V, U, T, S, R, Q, P, O, N, M, L, K, J, I, H, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. Sing the alphabet this way, sing this way. Great job, everyone. So like we so often do in Storytime, we are going to talk about a special letter today, and we're going to be watching for that letter's shape and listening for that letter's sound. And I'm going to tell you what our letter's sound is and see if you can guess what letter we're talking about today. This letter makes the sound W, 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 W. Can you think of what letter that might be? Letter W. Letter W makes the W sound. And this is our lowercase w, or our little w. Grown-ups, we like to practice both the uppercase and the lowercase alphabets because we often focus on learning these letters first, these uppercase letters first, which is super important, obviously. But about 95% of written text is actually lowercase letters. So we like to make sure we practice both so we can see the differences between them. So in this case, our little w and our big W look pretty much the same. The big W is just bigger. So be on the lookout for that and be listening for the W sound. Okay, friends, I would like to do a rhyme with you. This rhyme, I think you'll be able to figure out why I chose this rhyme. This rhyme is called Whoosh Went the Wind. Listen to all those whoop sounds, right? For our letter W day. Whoosh went the wind. We're going to pretend that our fingers are dandelions. Sometimes in story time, we practice some deep breaths by pretending that our hand is a flower and then we blow the dandelion seeds. But this whole rhyme is all about dandelions and the wind whooshing the seeds away. So we're going to do this twice, once with each hand. Get those fingers nice and strong for when we get to school and need to learn how to write and use scissors and that kind of thing. So we love doing finger rhymes that help us strengthen our hands. So can you show me your 5? We're going to pretend that our fingers are dandelions, and I'm going to say a little rhyme, and we're going to count down backwards. Here we go. 5 little dandelions growing by my door. Can you get ready to blow like the wind? Whoosh went the wind, and then there were 4. 4 little dandelions, pretty as can be. Whoosh went the wind, and then there were 3. 3 little dandelions. I'll pick them just for you. Whoosh went the wind, and then there were 2. 2 little dandelions. Blowing them is fun. Whoosh went the wind, and then there was 1. 1 little dandelion standing in the breeze. Whoosh went the wind and scattered all the seeds. Great job. Let's try it again. If you did the rhyme with this hand last time, try it with this hand this time. Okay, here we go. 5 little dandelions growing by my door. Whoosh went the wind, and then there were 4. 4 little dandelions, as pretty as can be. Whoosh went the wind, and then there were 3. 3 little dandelions. I'll pick some just for you. Whoosh went the wind, and then there were 2. 2 little dandelions. Blowing them is fun. Whoosh went the wind, and then there was 1. 1 little dandelion standing in the breeze. Whoosh went the wind and scattered all the seeds. Great job. Thank you for whooshing like the wind with me. Oh, with is another word, isn't it? That's always word. Word is a word. Now, friends, I hope you'll go on a letter hunt with me. We are going to look for our W's and some books that I found in the library that have W's in the titles. And grown-ups, I'm going to make a list of books that have W's in them and also talk about the other topics that we're talking about in Storytime today. And that will be in our community collections link, page, which will be linked in the description of this video. So, anybody see any W's here? One right there. And one right there. This book is called Whistle for Willie. This is Willie, and this is Peter. This is by the same man who wrote the book The Snowy Day. So if you like that book, I would recommend checking this one out too. And in this book, poor Peter wants to learn how to whistle so he can whistle for his dog to come. But it turns out learning how to whistle is a lot of work. It's another whoop sound, right? Have you ever tried to learn how to whistle? It took me a long time to learn how to whistle. Lots of practice. But this is a fun book, Whistle for Willie. I hope you get a chance to read it sometime. Our next book that I brought with me is called Hey Water. You hear the w sound in there? Water, right? And this is a really interesting book. It talks about all the different ways that we have water in our world. Listen to all those whoosh sounds. Ways we have water in our world. Oh, so much fun. So there's one way, right? In a bathtub, in a stream. Oh, and a dewdrop, tiny little drop of water on maybe a blade of grass or a leaf on a tree. This is a fun book. I hope you get a chance to check this one out. And actually, if you think that this is a fun book to look at all the different ways that water can be in our world, there's another one too that's by a different author, and it's called Water Can Be. And these both have some really fun ideas and interesting information in them. I have one more book I want to show you. Do you see a W on this cover? The letters look a little different, don't they? They're not quite like a lot of the letters that we see in books. They're kind of blocky, chunky, but there's our W, right? This book is called Don't Worry, Little Crab. And worry is that W sound. Don't worry, little crab. This is a great book. It is about how sometimes trying new things can be a little bit scary, but if we have someone with us who will help us not be so scared, things can actually turn out to be pretty fun. So, don't worry, little crab. Another one I hope you get a chance to read sometime. So friends, I would like to sing a song with you. This song is called Down by the Bay Where the Watermelons Grow. You hear the W sounds in there, where the watermelons grow. So this song is very silly. We're listening for rhyming words, and I'm going to show you some pictures and you can figure out the rhymes as we go in the song. This is a call and repeat song, so I'm going to sing a line and then have you sing it back to me. So I'll leave a little space for you to sing, and then we're going to see some interesting and very unusual things in these pictures. So this is a classic old song. I think I first heard this one by Raffi, who was a pretty popular kids musician way back in the day. So this is Down by the Bay Where the Watermelons Grow. And I will sing a line and then you can sing it back to me. And then in the when we're looking for the rhyme and we're looking at the pictures, we'll sing it all together. You're gonna pick it up, I know you are. So here we go. Down by the bay where the watermelons grow, back to my home I dare not go. For if I do, my mother will say, did you ever see a whale with a polka dot tail down by the bay? Did you ever see a whale with a polka dot tail? I told you it was a silly song. Let's do another verse. Down by the bay where the watermelons grow, back to my home I dare not go. For if I do, my mother will say, did you ever see a fly wearing, what's the rhyming word here? A tie down by the bay. That would have to be a really tiny tie, wouldn't it? Because flies are really little. It's a big picture, but flies in real life are really little. Let's see what our next silly rhyme is. Down by the bay where the watermelons grow, back to my home I dare not go. For if I do, my mother will say, did you ever see a, you know what this is? It's a llama wearing pajamas down by the bay. There's actually a whole book about that called Llama Llama Red Pajama, isn't there? Llama wearing pajamas. And some fuzzy slippers too, it looks like. Okay, got a few more rhymes for you. Down by the bay where the watermelons grow, back to my home I dare not go. For if I do, my mother will say, did you ever see a snake baking a cake down by the bay? I have definitely never seen a snake baking a cake. It's pretty silly. Here we go, another one. Down by the bay where the watermelons grow, back to my home I dare not go. For if I do, my mother will say, did you ever see a pig wearing a wig down by the bay It's another w sound, wig. It's a pretty cool wig, though. That pig looks pretty awesome. And one more silly rhyme for you. Let's do this last verse. Down by the bay, where the watermelons grow, back to my home I dare not go, for if I do, my mother will say, did you ever see a bear wearing underwear down by the bay? Thank you, friends, for singing that song and looking for our very, very silly rhymes with me. So, friends, I have our letter for today. This says, this part of the envelope tells us where the letter is going to or who it's going to. And it says that it is for preschool Storytime friends at Herrick District Library. So this letter is for us. And up here in the corner, it usually tells us where the letter is coming from or who it's coming from. But I see just question marks there today. So it looks like we're going to have to read some clues in our letter and guess what animal we're talking about today. So we sing a little song with this one. It's to the tune of If You're Happy and You Know It, Clap Your Hands. This is the song, We've Got a Lovely Letter in the Mail. Here we go. Oh, we've got a lovely letter in the mail. Yes, we've got a lovely letter in the mail. Getting mail is so much fun. Now let's see what's in this one, in this lovely little letter in the mail. Okay, open up our envelope and take out our letter, our message. Our letter says, Dear Storytime friends. This is an animal whose name starts with the W sound. I don't remember if I mentioned that before. This is we're getting some clues to see if we can figure out what animal it is. Dear Storytime friends, I live in a group called a pack. I look similar to a kind of pet that a lot of people have, but I'm definitely not a pet. And I'm in a lot of stories where they say I'm big and bad. I guess I'm pretty big, but I'm not bad. I'm just wild. Can you guess who I am? So this animal lives in a group called a pack. Kind of looks like a pet that a lot of people have. And is in some stories as big, bad, wolf. Big bad wolf. Our letter today is from a wolf. So friends, I bet there are some things that you can tell me about wolves. What can you tell me about wolves? Yes, they howl, don't they? They like to howl. Ooh. It's how they communicate with each other so that they know where they are, or if they need their friends to come and help them, their pack mates to come and help them. They howl to communicate, to talk with each other. What else? They are pretty big. Yeah, they're bigger than most normal dogs, which is, they look a lot like dogs, but if you ever see a wolf, you definitely don't want to try and pet it because they are indeed very wild and we don't want anybody to get hurt. Anything else that you can tell me? Did you know, friends, that wolves hunt they hunt with their whole pack? They can hunt big animals because they all work together to take down a big animal. And I learned something really interesting from Miss Chris, my coworker here. She told me, and I did not know this before, that wolves have webbed is another word, webbed toes, kind of like a duck's feet. Those are webbed feet, but they have webs between their toes, which helps them swim. So wolves are actually really good swimmers. I did not know that before, but I thought it was a pretty interesting fact that I wanted to share with you. And friends, if you can believe it, we're at the end of story time for today. I would like to say thank you. I'm going to sing you a little song to say thank you for watching. And we will see you another time. Here we go. Thanks for watching. Thanks for playing. Thanks for listening today. Sadly, story time is over. But I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you so much for watching Storytime today, friends. We will see you next time.